Hello, it is 10:43. I am sleepy after eating my food, but it's fine, because I really want to play Ace Attorney before I perish for today. I also have a soda here, so help me God, if I accidentally knock it over on my keyboard again, I will be very sad. How you guys doing? I didn't get side work done this entire week. I just chilled because I needed to chill. I told myself I was gonna fix my on-screen chat. I don't know if you heard. Twitch is not gonna yell at us for having combined chats. It was already questionable enough if I could even have YouTube chat on here, but it seems like everything's fine. So now you guys get to be all buddy-buddy with each other and you can see each other. But the problem is I forgot to set that up. So we'll do that next time, I promise. Sleepy? Yes, I am sleepy. But it's fine. Everything's fine. Alright, hang on. I need to switch screens, because I do not want to hear these same four notes over and over again. Oh wait, but I do need my audio to be not in my headphones. Eh. Oh, so just as a heads up, new Criterion drops on Tuesday. Which is also the same week that Matt has inventory. So we can't do Criterion next Saturday, not tomorrow. Like we're doing Criterion tomorrow. We can't do it the week after. The trade-off is Nate's free for like 2 Tuesdays. So as soon as I get home from work on Tuesday, we are going into the new Criterion or the new variant. It depends on if people still need to do it, which, given based off of memory, I'm pretty sure we do. That's beside the point. All I know is that right now the jury hates me, or specifically hates Megundo. So not fucking Megundo, McGilded. I knew it was gonna happen eventually, where I'm gonna accidentally say the wrong name, and I'm gonna say the fans translated name. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever. Anyways, we're asserting our right. The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very high standards of judicial procedure. This is why I shouldn't do silly voices when I'm sleepy. But you know what? We work with it. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried.
Objection!
But if it's our right, it's our right! I believe it could prove vital in this trial. The defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination. That is a little bit of a mouthful. This is madness. Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready? Huh? Oh, well, I'm not, there was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see, so all members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. On what grounds? You must all justify your decision and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty. Well, my lord, you're rather putting us on the spot. This is most irregular. No mention was made of this before. I don't really hold with all this justifying lark. That seems to have thrown the jurors off. It seems none of them have experienced this before. Alright then, the summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been looking for. to turn this trial around. So be it then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court hereby calls upon you. State the grounds on which you find the defendant, Magnus McGildy, guilty of this most serious crime. Judicial findings! Look at that. All of them are gonna talk to. There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him. I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. He stuck the chap next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen. I have simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion. You can trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices above 4 pence for years. Why is there no space between 4 pence? The scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars belief. I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now. Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments though, do they? Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. To throw everything I can at them. I need some very persuasive language. Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. According to my book, that's not quite how it works. Oh? I thought I was gonna have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant. Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. But then, they've reached their conclusions by their own reason, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses, as I itch my eye because there's an eyelash inside of it now. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become. Then what on earth am I supposed to do? Oh dear, I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo. Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work then? Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make your arguments. What do you mean? Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a unified front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together. And that's the way to break them down, you mean? Yes, exactly. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. We can. We contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other. See, those contradictions in what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination. Oh, yes, I suppose you're right. Find contradictions in their statements. Pit the jurors against one another to break them down. Alright. I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. Ah, the double slap. I have to pull this off. Can we start proceedings, counsel? I would ask you to take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal. Yes, my lord. Yeah, look at me. Look at me, I'm in front. Okay, so what I have to do, instead of a present button, I have a pit button. What I basically have to do is pick 2 jurors with contradictions with each other. So, for example, he's saying that it was stabbed on the side, while the old lady is saying that he was stabbed on the floor.
Objection!
Those 2 statements are completely contradictory. What? Explain, counsel, post haste. Oh, dearie me. I was only knitting a jumper for my other half. What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you? We've heard from more than one witness. They allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3. What? Can't you see that I'm busy here? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it? Ha! Want to test me, do you? It was like this! Stuck the fella next to him without even getting up, just like the prim banker said. Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony, quite true. Now then, juror number 6. Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam? Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it, it was like this! He stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor! The coachman said so. Now don't move! Take a look at those 2 jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. Well, I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions. What? Bless my stitches! What a muddle! What this tells us that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth. But why? Why the dickens would they lie? I don't know that yet, but what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good consciousness? Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me. I can't abide people telling lies. The scales. I don't believe it. Look at my boy. Look at my lawyer boy. Wait. Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him in his black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all. If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this? Answer me this, dark jinx. Uh-huh? Me? What? What exactly is the problem? What of it if 2 witnesses have slightly different recollections of events? What of it? Let's say the Shylock did stab the victim as he was sat next to him on the omnibus. And this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor, and then the Shylock stabbed him again. I feel like I'm forgetting half these voices when I'm tired. And this old lady saw him do it. Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that? Who are you calling a dandy, sir? Why, I should take this knife to you. Who are you calling old? Why, I should take this needle to you. They're ready to kill each other now. But could the foreman of the jury be right? Did the 2 witnesses see 2 different moments of the same crime? Is that all the question? So hi, gang guy. How you doing? Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman. What is it, dark jinx? Come on, out with it. What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question. What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job. As the foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So, where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say the 2 witnesses saw 2 different moments of the same crime. If you say that's out of the question, show me the proof. I'm okay, tired-minded though. Grinding rivals, thanks for asking. Rivals. Looks like the only way I'm going to convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish. What? I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime, as proven by this armband. I just wanted to take a swig of my soda. It should be the autopsy report. It's the victim's It's the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen only once. Huh? Oh, only once? It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means these witnesses couldn't, which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen two different times. Alright, I concede defeat. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. You did it. If we can manage to change two more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue. Two more. Actually, there is something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions. And that's where you must strike next. So I need to pit two more jurors against each other and show them another contradiction in their assertions. Exactly! You can do this. Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination. Oh yeah, so after you guess it correctly, if you go to the jurors who change their mind, they say something new now. I'm no lover of the rich, but I despise liars even more. And this is my call for now, at least. Go to the lady. Dear me, you can't make accusations based on lies. What if the poor man is innocent after all? And then if you hit right all the way, Naruhodo and Susato will talk about, you know, like a hint. Okay, so I believe it's the 4 pence against the 20 pence.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict each other. I'm sleepy. They do? Explain yourself, counsel. Me? Oh dear, what have I said? I swear on Silver Blaze's mane and name, I haven't the first idea of what you're talking about. According to the ground testimony, according to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus in the night in question. And, according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares. Quite right. I have those precise details typed neatly in front of me. And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence. That it is, a fair and convenient single price, just the way London's carriages should be operated. But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts. Why, ma'am? Why? 4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you do multiplication, it would be 16 pence. Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely one person's fare. One person's fare? Yes, in other words, on the omnibus that night. It's distinctly possible. There was another passenger we heard nothing about. Good gracious! This cannot be! The coachman of the guild are good, honest men. One and all! Trustworthiness is our watchword. The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy. I beg your pardon? Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if the trial were to end now, news will surely spread all over London. News that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he let nefarious characters ride his omnibus. Alright then, how do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end? Well, according to my book here, you simply launch a ball of fire onto the innocent side. Oh, this was the one I was supposed to do first. Oopsies. Now hold your horses there, coachman. We were all in agreement. Why do you have to go in? Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo! Oh, it's equal. Ugh! This is all very irritating. Begging your pardon, sir. I'm going to do the same. For the love of Mike, not you as well! A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters. Oh, really? I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again. Wait, that means 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty. We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo. We've won. Meanwhile, Baron Von Zeeks is just standing there. What are you playing at, you dandy fool? Shut your trap, sir. No one deceives me. We had a consensus. I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And if the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor-sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head. Please do not lick knives with your tongue. That's 1, unsanitary, and 2, also very dangerous. Please tell me he's a barber. Well, in a quite remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there's no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to, adjudicate? I promise I know how to speak English. The game's just dumb. And the trial must continue. I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places. And I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth. So, Lord Von Zeeks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please. Oh, he's brought out the wine. Oh, excuse me. He brought out the grape juice. I'm pretty sure the Ace Attorney still censors it as grape juice. He broke it! Having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hollow chalice, it may seem crass to crush it to dust. Pray forgive the discourtesy. Lord Von Zeeks! Is it cold in here or is it just me? As your antiquated tome no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during the summation examination. So I have honored a deathly silence. And listen to the charade. It seems I overestimate the intelligence of the jury. Well, no matter. There is nothing so hard to prove as the self-evident truth, it would seem. No. And why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, Let us proceed to the next round of battle. He took off the cape! Bring forth the witnesses once more. Look at him! One of my favorite characters of all time. Oh shit, I almost spilled my soda. Witnesses. I trust you heard the summation examination we have just had to endure. Oh, yes, sir. That I did, sir. Of course I've heard it. Oh, yes, sir. I heard it. You, sir. On the end. The coachman. I believe it's Beppo? Yes, sir. My lord, sir. If it transpires that in your previous testimony, you were attempting to veil the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You're advised to bear that in mind, sir. Oh mio Dio. Now then, witnesses, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought to our attention by the defense's summation examination. I only carried 4 passengers that night. I swear it. Well, I for one was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. He fiddled us on the fare, he did. And then I saw the blood-curdling sight as well. It's all too much. I tell you, I saw McGilded stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands. Oh, yes. Yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so, yes. Counsel, make sense of this for me, please. The phantom fifth passenger conjured into existence by my learned my learned Eastern friend never existed. The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cousinage? I hate it here. Oh. Beppo! Explain yourself! I'm terribly sorry, Guildmaster. The Guild's fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that? Am I to understand that you've been overcharging our passengers by a penny a fare? It's so cold. And the last run of the day is only half empty. You have been dishonest, coachman. I'm sorry. You're a disgrace, Beppo. A disgrace! Selfish actions has brought dishonor on the entire guild! If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week. What? 4 passengers at 5 pence each is, yes, 20 pence. I've done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the result come out differently. No, that figures. Well, it would appear that one of the aforementioned misgivings has already been explained. So, counsel for the defense. Your cross-examination, if you please. We've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. I see you intend to continue the parlor games. Absolutely! Fucking hate it here, yo. Okay. So, hold on. 5 pence. Alright. I'm just got to start pressing everything.
Hold it!
So, there were only 4 passengers in your carriage, but you didn't charge them from the standard 4 pence fare. Is that right? Objection! Your Honor! Zora didn't! Yes, I didn't! I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're on about, but I didn't do anything. It's impossible to make the last run of the day pay. I was so cold. It was all I could do to stop myself passing out. I'm getting chilblains just listening to you. It was terrible. So I wanted to give myself a pat on the back for even keeping the bus running. Does the dedicated coachman deserve an extra penny per passenger? You're digging a deeper hole for yourself here. Only there had been a fifth passenger on the omnibus that night. And we would have had another suspect. Oh wait, hang on. Maybe I remember which one to do. Hold on. Over here. Earlier, you testified you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you? Oh, yes, that's right. You said that the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding the knife in an ice-pick grip. I suppose. I might have, yes. Put the cart before the horse, maybe. What's this? Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seats on the roof deck. Oh, I expect that was me, sir. Then when I turned around, yes, I saw it through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor and the knife was sticking up out of his midriff. That's right, yes, and the fellow holding the handle was the famous man, yes. So, in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all. I really thought I did, but when I go over it again in my head, no, I suppose I didn't actually see the precise moment. What did you just say? Also, that's not good for your teeth, sir. Pursue?
Excuse me.
Excuse me! Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay? Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. He didn't really see the exact moment that the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Huh? Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I might be able to extract some new information from him if I answer him cleverly. Maybe I shouldn't drink soda. Hold on. I have a bottle of water right here. Ugh. Unrelated. Can we talk about how crap water bottles have been in the last few years? I don't mind the thinner plastic. It's dealable. What I do mind and what I hate about this is that they made the top shorter and they made it tighter. So then I have to grab it with my entire, like, section, like, between my index finger and my thumb. This shit hurts, and I'm pretty sure I've more or less developed some form of, like, a skin callus in that area because of that. Whatever. Anyways. Do you just have to see the exact moment the crime was committed? Oh, shit. I didn't mean to press A, but okay. Well, it's a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spent your time peeping through a skylight on top of an omnibus, that is. Peeping? I'm a respectable city bank girl, how have you know? And I know what I saw. I remember it as clear as a Ballarat day. It's a grim scene, I don't mind telling you. Thank you, Mr. Fairplay. Oh, excuse me, I was getting a little hot under the collar there, my lord. I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw. Oh, I can do that, alright. I'll tell you just how grim it was. I think I would forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands. I mean, he's not wrong.
Hold it!
Blood-soaked? Oh wait, no, he is wrong. I don't think the handle had any blood. Well, Perhaps soaked is laying it on a little thick, but anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it. And you saw that from the roof, through the skylight. Well, the skylight's reasonably large, so I had a pretty good view. And there's a lamp on the inside of the carriage as well, so I'm quite sure of what I saw. Spanker's latest statement. I feel sure there's something not quite right about it. When you feel something doesn't add up, Mr. Naruhodo, that's when you should have a good look through the court record. Not long ago, this trial nearly came to an end. Somehow we've managed to keep our chances alive here. I can't waste this cross-examination. I have to use it to bring some new facts to light. If you're not careful when you press those witnesses, the danger is that the jury will end up believing something unhelpful as they did before. Maybe. But we can't let the fear of that happening stop us from uncovering important new information. Yes, you're so right. You need to pay careful attention here. I don't want to miss even a flicker of a reaction from one of these witnesses. Remember, if you happen to spot one of the witnesses reacting in a strange way, don't hesitate to pursue them as to the reason. I'm awake. I promise. I'm awake. I might actually have to replace my Pro controller. For some reason, the right shoulder button keeps on sticking. Hold on. Sorry, I took some compressed air to my controller. I don't think it did anything. I think I would actually have to physically break apart this controller. It's just something's causing it to. It's not sticky. Let me clarify that. It's not sticky. It just feels like something is a little bit stuck. And like if you tap it a bunch of times, like it feels normal. But if you leave it alone, and then you tap it again, it clicks. That's the best way I could explain it. Okay. No, I think only one part, it's weird. So, yeah, only one glove is bleeding, but also the hilt's not bleeding.
Objection!
So I was about to say, I don't know which one it could have been. Blood-soaked hands. Well, I admit that soaked might be laying it on a little thick, but anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it. Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar. What? Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilded, on the night in question. Oh, yes, right. And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain there. But, as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right-hand glove. Look at him being like a little chipmunk. In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent. But, no, that can't be right. So you're the liar here, then. Gah! That's right. You were quite clear about it. You said, it was both hands. Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth?
Objection!
It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it wasn't both hands, it was only one. But the fact remains, the victim's blood was on the accused.
Objection!
No! Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands. Which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court. Why? Why? I'm a city banker, for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding members of society don't prevaricate? Just throw code at me, why don't you? He's claiming to have no reason to lie. But is that really the case? Mr. Naruhodo, if you have some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it could turn the tide in this trial completely. Oh, the banker note. Evidence. My lord. Yes, counsel? The defense is ready to present evidence. By Jove, are you sure? Yes. Evidence that clearly demonstrates why Mr. Fairplay had reason to lie in his testimony. Very well then. I hereby call upon the defense to present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness's alleged deception to the court. Get the little book.
Take that!
That's the list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilded. Yes, a list of innocent victims crippled by the accused's extortion. Point is, among the names in these debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay. What? Mr. Fairplay, are you currently in debt financially to the accused? No. Oh, well, it's barely worthy of being called a debt. According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say? Well, what of it? Let's suppose Mr. McGilded were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case? These documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. It would cease to exist. Cease to exist? Mr. Fairplay, is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony you have seen something you never in fact saw? A devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant. Order! 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 Mr. Bruce Fairplay. Yes, my lord. My lord. What kind of noise did I just make just now? My lord. I can't even do it again. Whatever. Let me ask you again. And be aware that your answer may have the most serious implications upon your future, sir. Did you or did you not see the precise moment in time in which the defendant is alleged to have thrusted a knife into the victim? Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony. Alright. Now, let's not make a melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth a pinch. A pinch? But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on Mr. McGilded's hands. Both of them.
Objection!
And yet, Only one of the defendant's gloves would we have here as evidence is stained. Grr. So you keep saying. I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir. Go ahead, Mr. First. Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself as it happens. Seen what? The blood, sir. On the assailant's hands. I think, yes. I'm almost sure that it was on both his hands, not just one. What? What? Oh. Did I hit a button by accident? I guess I did. It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. This time, I would like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear? Yar. Mr. Naruhodo, this is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly, alas. Yes. I might finally have a chance to turn things around here. Who the fuck's trying to ping me? There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say I didn't see the exact moment of the stabbing transpired, if that matters. I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both the attacker's hands with blood on them. I didn't actually see anything myself. No, not until I heard that scream. Anyway, the fact remains, there can't have been anyone else inside the carriage, or we would have all have seen. There's still 9 left in my goddamn eye. Someone take out my eyeballs. Lo and behold. In truth of the fact, not one of you witnesses were crucial. Not one of you was witness to the crucial moment of the crime. Crime was perpetrated. I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside the carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood. That much incriminating evidence is tantamount to say that we saw the man do it. That's really not what the testimony is about. Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witness's account. In other words, there is no substantial nor significant change in the facts of the case. Very well. Your cross-examination, please, counsel. Yes, my lord. Mercy knife.
Hold it!
But you definitely saw that too? Blood on both hands. Yes, sir. I mean, I know what you're gonna say. Only one of Mr. McGilda's gloves has any sign of blood on it. That's right. The thing is, as far as I can remember, sir, when I looked down and saw Mr. McGilda sitting beside the other fellow, I don't believe he was wearing any gloves, sir. Wasn't wearing these gloves? That's correct, sir. And I saw the blood on both of his bare hands quite clearly. It's true that the dark-colored stain on the dark leather gloves wouldn't have been easy to see. I should point out that the police officer who apprehended the accused on the night in question reported that there was no trace of blood on Mr. McGilda's gloved hands. Some blood on his hands? This is puzzling indeed. This must be significant somehow. I'm sure of it.
Objection!
Yeah, that's what I thought. Winston's last team is clearly unhonorable. Yes, I realize I fucked up. It's fine. Would you kindly detest from that wide-eyed, panic-stricken look that you are wont to wear? That's the only panic-stricken look I know! I love him so much. Okay,
Hold it!
everything you saw of the incident was through the skylight on the roof of the omnibus? That's right. It was fiercely cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over. Oh yes, I remember how shivering was so bitter. Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting on the roof deck in the first place. Well, I don't know about this young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin. Oh? Why not? It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door. It was locked? That's right. And it's a public bus service, for pity's sake. That's not what I call fair play. Yes, I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking, but the gent inside just gestured at me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb up to the roof deck and look down longingly into the warm cabin below. Well, I can assure you, I wasn't just looking down. I was glaring, long and hard. And that's precisely why I can tell you with absolute confidence that if there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed. Unequivocal, I would say. I'm not sure about these two witnesses. Would they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the skylight? No. Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You were riding on this omnibus and witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight and the floor on the upper deck. Is that right? That's right. That's right, yes. In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior you would have been out of sight to you. What? By golly, really? Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied that at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus.
Objection!
Enough hypocritical meandering, my Nipponese friend. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, the scene of the crime is here in the flesh. Very well. I will uphold the prosecution's demand. Do I have to... Oh, do I just select which seat it is? You will identify the area on this cross-sectional plan of the omnibus. Where exactly in the omnibus are you suggesting this potential extra passenger could have been situated? I believe right here.
Take that!
Both rows of seats on the roof face in the direction of travel, whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other. Which means the visible part of the cabin, which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight, is as I've drawn here. That's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite to the one which the victim and his attacker were sitting is obscured from the view. In other words, if someone has been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses may have would have been completely unaware of it.
Objection!
I didn't hit that button! It might have registered in the cutscene. I don't fucking know. It's quite possible some phantom was sitting there. The police have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity. I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In the British court of law, evidence is paramount. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel. That is, unless you're able to put a name to the mysterious passenger to whom you allude. Maybe? I honestly don't know. Who could it have been? Who could have been in the other seat, which was out of sight from the witnesses on the roof deck? I understand, my lord. The defense would like to put forward a name. You are a fool. That response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations. A toast. Two hard truths not yet learned. Let us not delay, counsel. The defense is still to name the passenger in the other seat. This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus that was obscured from view was... It's Varric von Zieks.
Take that!
Magilda? The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilded. Mr. McGilded? What are you talking about, counsel? That's the name of the defendant!
Objection!
Oh! He threw the chalice! He threw the chalice! He threw the chalice! If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hollow chalice, do forgive the discourtesy. Lord von Zieks! People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own. But I see that they use the terms ill-advisedly. What are you trying to say? Let me explain in terms that even a student of an artless backwater such as yourself might understand. When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to the fact. It's the very premise on which this case is built.
Objection!
But that premise may be wrong. What? If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way. What inconsistency, counsel? The defendant's gloves, my lord. Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claimed that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection!
Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains.
Objection!
Point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance. Yes, their testimony remains unchanged. Exactly. They both adamantly swear they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, the memory of the events is correct, and the testimony reveals the truth. Somebody else sitting beside the victim that night. A third party we have yet to identify. The victim's blood was on the passenger's hands. Both of them.
Objection!
And who was this third party? Obviously, the true culprit. Extraordinary. Extraordinary? Order, order, order! What are you, What exactly are you postulating?
Objection!
The defense's postulation is just that. Nothing more than conjecture. The witnesses have clearly stated that they saw the accused.
Objection!
But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said the two of them were wearing hats and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. Also, I really like this theme. I really like this theme a lot. Yes. Tops of their heads were obscured by the roof. I can see the rest of them though. Yes, that's right. Both gents were most certainly hatted. Hatters do tend to notice such things, sir. And what particular styles of hats did the two gentlemen sport, Mr. First? I'm afraid I don't remember. And you call yourself a hatter. Style of hat makes no difference. There was no third passenger in the cabin. How can you be so sure? Because if there had been, the accused Mr. McGilda would undoubtedly have offered to dispose the fact. Unless, that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation. That the accused failed to even notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin which he traveled. He's right. There was another person traveling in that enclosed cabin of the omnibus. It's inconceivable that Mr. McGilda would have been unaware of it. Order! There's clearly a simple solution to this problem. Bring the accused, Mr. McGilda, to the stand. Well, what say you, counsel? The prosecution objects, my lord. On what grounds? As a suspect, you have already made a false statement to the police. But what if there's some reason why he's unable to speak freely? Agnes McGilda is no uneducated ruffian. If it indeed turns out the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it would have been a most deliberate act. Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion? My lord, should we ask Mr. McGilda to testify or not? Testify. Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilda to the stand. In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury. Ah, yes. I need a little time to consider this. If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilda has to say. Get the man out here, I say! It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony. When something needs doing, get it done. That's how I run things at my guild. Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say? Oh yes, that would be lovely. Yes, the jury says the man must be heard. Very well. The court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once. Matt. Now, maybe what actually happened that night only becomes clear. Let proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilda, have you been listening to the discourse of the day? To be sure, I have, my lord. There are now two matters on which the court desires to hear from you. The first is whether or not there was a third party with you in the omnibus cabin, as proposed by the defense. The second is that if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal the fact from the police? Again, no, it is not in my nature to hide anything at all. Just answer the question, please. The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. Do I tells yous all, or keep me mouth shut? Or have a water bottle crack in the middle of me talking? Tell us what, Mr. McGilden? The fine fellow representing me is absolutely right. In the carriage of the night with myself and the other man, there was another passenger. It's true? Aye, and 'twas me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened. You... What? No, Magnus McGilden. That convenient excuse can't save you now. I'm truly sorry. So I am, Lord Von Zeeks. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you. Which was? Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and not in any way involved, you see. What? If the police had known the wee one was there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. They'd have followed her into this here courtroom, just like meself. I was only trying to spare her that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord. And who was this young child of whom you speak? That, I don't know. You don't know? Aye, well, the wee thing just happened to be in the carriage that night. I never saw her before or since.
Objection!
We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. The prosecution calls for the witness's statements to be disregarded by the court. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin is here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings. Smoke! Fire! There's fire! Look, someone's trying to get away! After them! It's no use! I can't see anything, they're all the smoke! What is going on? Be careful, Mr. Narhuda. Cover your face. Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Security omnibus! I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom. Hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff. Amid scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in a desperation to flee the chamber. He had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended. Do I go for another hour? I am so sleepy. Do I go for another hour? I kind of want to say yes, but I need to take a break, lest my voice tries to murder itself. I have very little control of my inflections and stuff when I'm sleepy, so I'll probably strain my voice a little too fast. Let me take like a 5 to 10 minute breather, and we will come back. We're back. arrested enough. But we will deal with it. It's fine. We'll go through a good chunk of it, and then I die in Criterion tomorrow. Because that's just how it. That's just There it is. Ah! You hear no noises? Nothing is happening, I promise. What on earth just happened in there? Mr. Naruhodo! I've managed to find out what happened. Mrs. Dato. I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade. A type of exploding device that releases smoke. Smoke grenade? It sounds like it's sort of the things Ninja uses. You're just making sure everything's safe now. I think the trial will start again before long. What? Who would have done something like that? The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee from the courtroom, apparently. Flee from the courtroom? Why? Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear. A young girl? Then, could it be? The other passenger that Mr. McGilda was just talking about? My thoughts exactly. So he wasn't lying. Oh, what became of Mr. McGilda, actually? There are so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here! I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions. Along with the young girl. Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk, and for what possible benefit to herself? There's another matter that's troubling me. What's that? The 20 pence. Hmm? Oh, according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. Now it seems there were in fact 5 passengers. Which means the figures don't seem to add up again. She's right. That is strange. Counsel for the defense! Kindly proceed into the courtroom. No falling asleep. Trial recommence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away. Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asking to take will be asked to take the stand and testify. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial. I shouldn't do her fucking voice when I'm tired. Oh, crap. Well, no soon enough, Mrs. Zato. Yes. It's fine. It's fine. I don't know. Oh yeah, I already concluded I'm not doing her justice, yo. I already concluded. I'm pretty sure she's supposed to have like a very heavy, British accent. There's the young girl next to Mr. McGilded. Look. She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Von Zeeks. My lord. I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which failed proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade, of the sort typically employed by the army. Good gracious! The army? What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, where she was caught, and now occupies the stand. Your name, girl? Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior? If I may, my lord. Yes, Mr. McGolden? I think perhaps I ought to explain here why it is that this wee lass was here in the first place and why she tried to bolt like that. It is all tied up with the events of that night, so it is. Very well, Mr. McGilden. Give your testimony. You explain to the courtroom exactly how this young woman is involved in the case. Just what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything. On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, begorrad, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fellow collapsed on the floor at me feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where that scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in the ball, hiding her wee self away. I remained somewhat baffled, if I confess, but from what I gathered on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus. Is that correct? 'Tis exactly as the defense counsel said. This last was the 5th passenger, my lord. Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel? Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start. Poor Naruhodo. I mean, I guess it's fine. I don't know where the fuck to start either. This.
Hold it!
What do you mean by curled up in the ball? I am afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else inside the carriage except yourself and the victim. So I did, sir. So I did. As far as I could see, that is. What do you mean by that? Well, now, 'tis a queer thing. The wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside. Good gracious! Under your backside? And when I lifted the seat on which I've been sitting, I found there was a wee cubby hole there for storage. Mr. Naruhodo, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember? Yes, I already did that, sweetheart. I already did that! This would be a very good time to have a thorough look across inside. And then when I found her... Child all curled up in the
Hold it!
You said that she was hiding herself? Aye, that's right. It was hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well, me heart nearly stopped beating in me chest. You're really overreacting this. Though in all, I pulled her out from under there and sat her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chingwig with her. Seat opposite? That's right, just next to the dead gentleman right there. You sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir? Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see? And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard a nurse scream, a fellow's voice this time. Presumably that scream was Mr. Verse, who was sitting on the roof deck seats. Right you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen the young girl and the gentleman with the knife in his belly. In other words, the previous witness did not, in fact, see you at all, Mr. McGill did. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was in fact this girl and the late Mr. Mason? Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight. It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and rarely confused perhaps with this young girl. After that, of course, with the scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses. I do wonder how you must be feeling, Mr. Naruhodo. In the defendant's lawyer, yet finding myself as stunned as everyone else in his testimony? Let's just say it's trying. We certainly had precious little time to talk to Mr. McGill before the trial. But we mustn't be dispirited. We must try to learn all the facts we can. We arrived in London this morning. I did not see my day panning out like this. Mr. Naruhodo, no grumbling even in your head. How did you know? Shoot. This might be one of the instances where I have to press everything. There are a handful of testimonies that require me to press everything instead of presenting anything. I'm wondering if that's the case here, because I'm honestly at a loss for words. I guess we'll press everything. And when you first got onto the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? There were not. The cabin was empty and there was no one on the roof deck either. You were the first passenger, as it were, I see. And that's why I took the backside as I did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is. Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means, this is how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite to the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable and where I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well.
Hold it!
A loud thud, you say? And a scream? Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? It was like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise. Do you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor having been stabbed? Well, now, you'll remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. When the sound woke me up and I opened my eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fella on the floor. I didn't see anyone. The same moment you did hear a scream. Ah, from the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume? Not above me, no, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before my eyes.
Hold it!
You sat him up? The victim, you mean? That I did. On the seat across from me, as I said. I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? 'Tis common courtesy, so it is. I find that a little hard to believe. Lord Von Zeeks, now why would that be? You wake to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Any upstanding member of London society, that is. Well now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business. The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest. Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer, and some would even see me dead. So I do try where at all possible to avoid getting myself in a tangle with trouble. Are you suggesting you were just gonna leave the man there? Heavens alive, no! I was always intending to report it, so I was. Only, I don't mind if I know whys and wherefores first. The whys and wherefores? Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same? Yes. The scream he said he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing. Oh, yep, it's one of those where I had to press everything. Thank you. I've heard enough. The evidence as explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is this girl? Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer. Earns her crust among the larger crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. What? This girl herself? A petty thief? Order! Order! Is this true, Mr. Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question. Ah! How dare you? What is the meaning of this? The girl, she's gone. Open your eyes. I'm over here. Good gracious, how? What was the point in that little sidestep? I know what you lot are thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dipper, you'll say, slipped up and got caught on the job. She got herself back into a corner, so she knifed the gent. Go on. That's what's in your heads, ain't it? No, not at all. It's a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not cast... I'm green. Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers. I'm a professional, alright? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do. I literally cannot figure out a good voice for her because I cannot pull off a really good accent, alright? Let me guess, you don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs. Oh, this? Yeah, this was the bag I lifted the other day. Down where they keep the four-wheel drags. It's nice, isn't it? I like the pink the best. Ah! Do not wave that thing in my direction again! So, you admit that you were riding the omnibus on the night in question. Tis alright, lass. You can tell them the truth now. Alright, yeah. It's just like the Irishman said. The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in the case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question. Alright. If I have to. If I had to. If I have to. So, I stuck inside the carriage before they locked up the horses. Just always. It was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. I'll tell you, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitched in there. It's pitched in there. Then after a while, I heard this loud bang. Nearly jumped out me skin, I did. The scream just came out. It's because of that this swell found me. He did help me get away, mind. Gina, I love you with all my heart. I do not remember how I did your voice. Yes, he let you go. I don't understand why you would let the street urchin go, Mr. McGilded. Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact. How? As I'm sure I said before, sir. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think a demonstration is called for. This is where I was sat that night. And the cubbyhole of which you spoke is underneath the seat, I presume. Where's all the stuff? Yes, it does appear just large enough to accommodate someone of the girl's stature. Aye, but of course the wee lass was stuck in there. Because I parked myself on the seat for the duration. So you see, that's why I let the lass bolt. I knew if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. But I couldn't live with myself if a young life was ruined when all this time I knew she was innocent. Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question. Ugh, my third sanity is being called into question, sir. Not at all, my lord, not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So, I thought it'd be worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of this less fortunate lass. My goodness. What a perfect gentleman. My lord! This fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir. One more flame. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual in their learning to a verdict of not guilty? Mr. Naruhodo, this must mean what? That we're victorious! We've won? Are you sure?
Objection!
Yes! The leg! I love fucking Monty. He's the greatest. If the sight of my iron-heeled Wellington offends, play do forgive the discourtesy. A fucking leg. This really is a consummated example of the one monumental flaw in British judicial practices, where evidence and reasoning should be paramount, emotion rules the day. Emotion? The witness's latest statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature. What do you mean, his true nature? Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by the officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. It's noted in black and white here in the police report. Good lord! The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGilda's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat. What? What? How could such a devious... Oh, fuck. Contrivance possibly been affected, counsel? Naturally, you must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty. Well, my Nipponese friend? Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find the condition of the underseat compartment to be?
Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy. Sorry? Go ahead. You tell the court now, fellow. How this was all an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Von Zeeks. Well, counsel, do you have something to say on this matter? How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of that little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? It was not empty. I really don't know if giving this answer is helping my cause as a counsel for the defense. As far as I remember, at least. When I first examined the compartment, I'm fairly certain there were a number of articles inside it, yes. Are you sure, counsel? Be whist! What are you saying now, you daft doll? I thought you were on my side here. What game are you playing? Your task is to defend the man in the stand. Why would you say something to compromise his position? As the advocate for the defense in this trial, I confess, I'm still not entirely sure where I stand. But it seems to me that I should state what facts I do know as clearly and honestly as possible. Interesting. 'Tis not altogether pleasing, fellow. I'm simply telling the truth, Mr. McGilden. Well, don't forget that you're supposed to be representing my best interests here, lad. Now then. A fellow's memory is a curious thing, and not altogether reliable. No, the court must consider the facts. That there cubby hole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is. Do you think perhaps it would be in your best interest now to admit that you might have been mistaken? Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here? I should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think. That compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The Guild's rules state that the omnibus should be properly and fully equipped at all times. So it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo isn't that irresponsible. That money-lending fleecer and the pick purse are lying. I can't believe I was nearly taken in. The stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards, the lot of them. What? Oh no. It's a trick! Of course it's a trick! Quite so. I must concur here. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Yes, but every time a different truth, it seems. My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly, a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate. Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outstanding cross-examination. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please. Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted, almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. I love Von Zeeks. I love him so much. Okay, wait. Okay, yeah, that air compression absolutely did nothing for my goddamn. Yeah, as long as my controller's not broken, it's just gonna be uncomfortable. Yeah. Huh? I didn't like that creak, by the way. That's blood, isn't it? Is something wrong? Oh, it's just, well, this blood seems so obvious, that's all. And yet, Von Zieks has made no mention of it. I suppose that does seem a little strange. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? Okay, yeah, no. I just wanted to make sure, because I thought the under part of the carriage was, damaged in some way. It's a storage compartment, but there's nothing in here. It's totally empty. Something doesn't seem right here. I can't put my finger on what it is. That's the only thing that's changed? Hold on. From what it looks like, yes. But the outside. Phoenix, right? Omnibus. Can I not touch this latch right here? I just wanted to make sure nothing else changed.
Hold it!
So you were already in the omnibus before you even set off on its run? Well, yeah. I mean, what's the point in spending a joey to make a few bob, eh? That's a rum idea, isn't it? I suppose she means there's no point in spending money to make money. It actually makes sense. Counsel, may I remind you that this girl's a petty thief? Kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants. Well, that does clear up the little mystery of the fares and all. 4 paying passengers at 5 pence apiece, making it 22, which the cabmen testified. And 1 little scapegrace riding for free. The red gonk of a driver always goes for some grub before his ass runs, see? So that's when I slipped into the carriage and got myself in under the seat. Nice and easy, right? Your hiding place is a storage compartment. Full of equipment for the coach. No. Yeah. There's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. I always chuck all that out and cram it in a corner somewhere. No one ever seems to be bothered much. Yet, according to the report filled by the police officer who first arrived at the scene, it's time for sleepies. The compartment was full of such paraphernalia. Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all that stuff so I could hide under the seat. That's all I can tell you. It seems we've reached the end of that line of inquiry. Continue. Excuse me, but is this Ace Attorney? It is Ace Attorney! It is great Ace Attorney! It is a great game. I enjoy it. It's one of my favorite Ace Attorney games. It's not considered a mainstream game of the series. I think it's just like, I don't know if you called it a side game, but it's basically great Ace Attorney in the past, or Sherlock Holmes. I'm sorry, Sherlock Holmes. It's great. I love it. Also, no, I legit don't remember what I'm supposed to do here. Waste of time? Why is that? You know, I really want to use your voice. I don't fucking remember. Do I need to go look at my old VODs for this? Well, most of the nights I'm on my own, and the God permit at least. Oh, what the fuck did I just? Maybe I should go to sleep. So early modern version of Ace Attorney, more or less, yeah. Most nights I'm on my own, and the God permit of at least some of the time. I beg your pardon. Did you just say God permit? Oh yeah. Well, that's what my kind called it. You say the omnibus, I suppose. Point is, any normal run the carriage ain't got no one in it for a while. That's when you come out of your hiding place and get away. That's it. Only that night. Cova sat on me seat from the start. And he didn't budge the whole way, did he? Not 1 inch. I was totally stuck. You mean to tell me you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in the enclosed cabin? Yeah. Right, mister? To be sure, to be sure. I was as shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift a cushion you've been sat on and find a child now, do you? This Mrs. Stray couldn't possibly be the culprit then. Do I really have to press everything? Completely unrelated, because this is happening right now. I don't know why these occur, but I hate hangnails. I don't know which one's worse. The ones that are like, if you so much as try to pull them, they will try to take everything that you hold and love and dear, and you're gonna be in pain. Or the really stubby ones that just are a problem and you can't really get them out. I'm sorry for the offhanded comment. I am just literally dealing with a hangnail in one of my middle fingers, and it's driving me up the wall. Me. Also, can we talk about how cute Gina looks? She's so cute. Ah, I'll deal with this later. I think I have a nail clipper somewhere. Actually, where's my nail clipper? Who took it? Who took my nail clipper? Which one of you fuckers did it? It's in here somewhere. I'll find it. Hold it! When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor? Could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, it made me jump. You let out a scream involuntarily? That's right. And I felt the cushion over my head get lighter all of a sudden. Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes? Or not. It couldn't equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim. Could it not? Well, girl, did you see what happened at that crucial moment? Yeah, I saw it. I pushed up the curtain. Pushed up the cushion and had a quick butcher's while I had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was sitting up to bloke what had fallen on the floor on the seat opposite. That matches Mr. McGill's account, of course. But then the fella slowly started turning around and looked right at me. I sunk back down again, but it was too late by then. I should have never risked looking. Hold it! When Mr. McGilda discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place. I was scared stiff, I was. He dragged me out and sat me down on the seat and all. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason. Yeah. Bloke had a knife in his gut. He was still bleeding. And the carriage lurched a bit and he ended up falling onto me! How awful. Both me and hands got covered in blood. Made me feel sick as a dog. Both her hands covered in blood. Must be what the rooftop passenger saw. After that, I believe you talked with Mr. McGilder for a while. Is that correct? He asked me some stuff. Wanted to know me name and what I was up to and all that. Then I heard something from up above. Someone screamed. Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one presume. Well, I didn't want no one seeing me face, so I didn't look up. Then the horses were drawn up smartish, and this Irishman said to me, "Get back under the seat. I'll see that you can get away later." All 6 members of the jury have decided the defendant was innocent. One brief shining moment, yes. It's clear that they are all still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we would clinch the verdict we want. Yes, I think you're right. I have this niggling feeling. Something's bothering me. I just can't quite put my finger on it.
Hold it!
So you can see out into the cabin at all? Not a jot. Most days I push the cushion up with me head and look around, look out the crack. Now I can have a butcher's at who I'm gonna fiddle. I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. I mean, I can have a look. The seat I get under ain't as plush as the other one seems. So most of the time, the passengers plant themselves opposite. For some reason that night, this Irishman spent the whole journey right over me head. For that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek out. I see. Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. Feels too much.
Well, no.
Excuse you? What do you want? Is something wrong, Mr. McGilded? Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Counsel? I'm just wondering, Mr. Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps. You seem to be thinking something to yourself. Oh, no, it was nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass is all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad, shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was. I see. Yeah, yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. Still a little scared of the dark even now. I don't know about yourself, but I find that the darkness seems to make everything around you here seem that much louder as well. Yeah. I suppose it does. Maybe. Miss Lestrade! Did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps? Ah, not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Jabbers! There's no need to tell the whole world of me foibles, you little scamp! What a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a new vital clue. Yes. What do we make of that last statement of hers? My lord! I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important. Profoundly important? But all she said was that she heard nothing. Yes, which is the profoundly important part. I'm almost sure of it. I'm almost sure that I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern mind, Counsel. Nevertheless, Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating that last statement, please. My eye is... What? Supplement? What you on about? Don't give me all that fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do. Well, we'll work on me. That's right. Insult the judge. Always a good move. Hang on. My eye is really itchy. Wait. What evidence do we even have for this?
Objection!
That's what I thought. God damn it. Okay, I'm just gonna speed through this. Yes, I know. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Hold it!
Are you restraining to hear what was happening the entire time, since the moment you hit yourself? Not exactly, no. Sorry? Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I could just push the cushion up and have a butcher's to see what was what. But then when I saw the swell getting on, I got me head down so he didn't notice me. Mr. McGill found the seat under which you were hiding, correct? Yeah! Would you Adam and Eve it, eh? What a mug! So then all I could do was listen. Waiting to jump out there as soon as I heard him leave, see? But would he? Not likely. No, we stopped here and there and never heard the door open. So I just had to stay put and listen to him driving his pigs to market. Snoring like an old dog he was. Are there any conclusions we can draw from that, I wonder? No. Miss Lestrade, what you've just told the court is clearly at odds with the facts. At odds? Are you sure, man? Absolutely. It seems my learned Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared. So Van Zeeks realized it too. Counsel, I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party name at the very least. Yes, my lord. I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the court. Brenda Miss Lestrade, she was hiding in the omnibus last night. You heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGilda's snoring. Think, Ryunosuke, think! There's something else she should have heard. Person. Very well, my lord. Allow me to elaborate. On a particular sound that Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear on the night in question. Sound very clearly explained by the presence of the following person. Mason!
Take that!
Rice-fired Mason? Yes, my lord. That sound that Miss Lestrade cannot have failed to hear? Is that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus? Order! Order! Explain your reasoning, counsel. Miss Lestrade, allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person on board the omnibus, is that correct? Yeah, of course I was. I got on while the driver was in the pub, didn't I? And the next person to board the omnibus was Mr. McGilden? That it was! Not a soul was in the cabin when I climbed on board. At least not in plain sight. You were, to all intents and purposes, alone in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus at the time. Did I not just say as much? I wasn't traveling with anyone else, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I saw him get on, remember? With a crack under the seat cushion. He was on his own for sure. And from what we heard, the carriage made a number of stops after that on its onward journey. During which, did you not hear the door opening or closing at all? Nah, I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, weren't it? Waiting for the swell to leave. In which case, when and how did the victim end up in the carriage? We know that the victim collapsed inside the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Therefore, Miss Lestrade's statement about what she did or did not hear is at odds with the facts. Yes, this petty thief's statement was clearly flawed. Lord von Zeeks! Yes, he knew. He knew all too well that there was an inconsistency in Miss Lestrange's statement. It would seem the words of thanks are in order for my learned friend. What are you talking about? You have demonstrated matters impeccably. This witness and her colorful statements are entirely unreliable. Her words are convenient untruths, nothing more. He's dead, right? How could the victim possibly not have boarded the omnibus? It makes no sense whatsoever. This girl is a pickpocket. Let's not forget the— Uh-oh, hi lady. She didn't even say anything! I didn't want to judge the little dear mite just because she had some rather naughty ways. But I must say, I can't abide liars. And neither can I. Mr. Foreman! I didn't want to judge the girl just because she had some lesser than salubrious ways. But I must say, I cannot abide liars! Mr. Naruto, that's 5 jury members leading towards guilty. Well, your consideration for others is refreshing, my Nipponese friend. To the considerable troubles you have spared me. Yes, very refreshing. Poor Naruto. Ah! What are you playing at? Have you forgotten who you're working for, you useless Eastern Adaman? Amadan? This is carnage! It's perfect! Our number 2 is the only one left. Mr. Naruto, the way this is going? I know. If you can't find some new way to convince everyone of Mr. McGill's innocence, judge will rule and we'll have lost. I very much want to believe the words of one of London's most respected gentlemen. But, those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Hold it!
Yes, the witness's last statement seems to have revealed a critical inconsistency in her story. However, if we're considered a possibility that her statement is in fact the truth, it may shed an entirely new light on this whole case. What are you saying? Counsel! I'm sorry, sir? Whatever you mean. Counsel, I will not tolerate you attempting to prorogue my adjudication. Explain yourself at once. When the accused boarded the omnibus on the night in question, the victim was nowhere to be seen. Subsequently, the carriage door was not heard opening a single time, as testified by the witness in the stand. Yet the victim's body was found inside the carriage. If this petty thief's words are to be believed, how do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus? There's only one way to explain how the victim came inside the carriage. Please put our vita on our entrance. If the door wasn't open even once, the only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way.
Objection!
I wonder what new fantasy you would come up with in your blind panic. But behold, the omnibus is here for all to see. Only one side of the enclosed cabin is furnished with a door. The others have only windows. Fixed windows which cannot possibly open. In short, there is no entrance to the cabin other than the door.
Objection!
There could be. There's one possibility you haven't considered. Oh, really? Yes, one other way inside that isn't the door. Another opening, the use of which allowed the victim to appear inside the enclosed cabin. Okay, yeah. This is not a good stopping point, but I should stop because one, I'm getting sleepy, but two, my throat is like deader than dead. And I feel like I'm getting to a point where it's gonna get even worse, if I can remember correctly. Yeah, so we're gonna stop here. I'm sorry. I might try to, I don't know if I'll have time to play over the weekend, because I have stuff to do tomorrow, and I think I might do All's Justice with Leon, so I don't know if my throat's gonna be the greatest after that. We'll see. With that said, thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna go pass the fuck out now. And then I need a Criterion in the morning. So, have a good night. Take care. I'll see you guys later. Bye.